Hi there, I'm Evan from Journal Menu, and I would like to tell you a little bit more about our WOD Beginner Journal. Now, our WOD Beginner Journal is one of the most functional journals that you're going to find. And the reason why it's functional is because it has information to get you started with your workouts, plenty of pages to help you track your workouts, and enough room in the back to help you keep track of those personal records. So let's go through and talk about the pages one by one. So to start off with, we have a quick guide. This quick guide gives you some ideas for addressing your warm-ups, for scaling those workouts that come up pretty commonly, like your 135-pound clean. How would you scale that down to someone who's an intermediate athlete or a beginner athlete or someone who's completely trained? Probably should be using a PV stick. And if you have some mobility issues, and the most common mobility issues are painful knees, poor shoulder range of motion, tight hamstrings. These are things that we address on the first page, so that when you are looking for a quick answer, you can look right there at that first page. Next thing we go into is the SMART goals. SMART goals are a super effective way of tracking your goals, of setting your goals so that each one of them is attainable. It gives you the tools and the thought processes necessary to attain your goals. Beyond that, we have another page where it's fitness movements and a goal list. And so you can write down your goals as you complete them, check them off, write the date in that you finish them, along with this list of fitness movements that pretty much every athlete who wants to be competitive should be keeping track of. So your handstand push-ups, your muscle ups. It gives you two little checkbox marks. One for that first time that you got it. Yes, it's amazing. I got my first muscle up. And another checkbox for when you have started repeating muscle-ups, when you can string together 5, when you can string together 10 comfortably, and you're not in danger of hurting yourself. That's when you put that second checkbox on. Then we have our body measurements page. A lot of us have goals that include losing weight, getting stronger, bigger quads, smaller waist, bigger butt. Who knows what it may be, but we want you to be able to track that stuff over time. Because if you're not tracking it, you don't really know where you're at. Then we go into a deeper mobility page. This is a mobilization quick guide. And so you go through here to address specific problems and looking for specific solutions to address those problems. And we try and be as descriptive as possible with words so that you can find the solution that works for you. Another thing that's really important with these beginner books is because we know you're a beginner, we know some of the terminology behind working out, especially in CrossFit. It can be confusing, it can be jargon. So we've included an acronyms and abbreviations sheet that it lists out. I would say there's about 40 or 50 different acronyms here that you're going to commonly find in your gym's programming and on the wall. Now everybody should know these. These are the 10 physical skills. But if you don't know them, you can review them here. You can look at what they mean, and you can think about them because a lot of thought was put into them. And we want you to have access to them so that you can review them and see how those concepts can apply to your fitness journey. Next up, we have scaling weight. What is scaling? Why would you scale? Well, the whole idea behind scaling is that maybe that weight that's written up on the wall is too heavy for you. Let's think about that. The weight is too heavy for you. It's too heavy for your fitness progression, and it could hurt you because heavy weights can do that. What are some ideas for scaling? Now, scaling is simply finding a weight that's appropriate to you that you can still use in that workout. So if what's on the wall is that you should do a 415-pound deadlift as many times as possible in 10 minutes, and you only weigh 100 pounds, well, that weight is not appropriate to you. So you would scale that weight down to find an appropriate weight for you. And we give you some common ideas for scaling weight depending on what the weight is or what your fitness level is. Up next, we have movement standards. Now, movement standards are really important because if you are not moving correctly, if your technique is not great, then you put yourself in a much more difficult position to both lift the weight and or stay safe, not get injured. And so we have all these different movement standards that we've written down and listed out for you so that you can at least have a written description to help out with those verbal and the visual descriptions that your coaches give you. Warm-ups are a great addition to this journal because sometimes you just don't know how to warm up or what to warm up with. And so we've given a couple very fluid yet full warm-ups that will get your body warmed up and diet for those dynamic movements. Finally, we have a set of movements, some common movements that you're going to find, like the air squat and front squat. We have different diagrams that help you see what the movement looks like, know the primary points of performance, and then read how it should be set up and then how it should be executed. These are really helpful, especially if you're new, because they give you a broad overview of the movement that you learned from your coach, and it gives you the time to review and actually look at what the movement looks like with a very professional athlete. Now, when we move on to the workout page, the WOD Beginner Standard Journal has a line 2-page setup. Now, we also allow you to choose an unlined page setup, and we allow you to set up it with 1 entry per page if you like to write a lot, if your handwriting is really huge, or 2 entries like it is shown here, 3 or 4 entries. If you really want that journal to last for a long time, you would choose the 4 entries. The trade-off is you may not get to record as much information in there. And so you have to know your own workout, what you are going to write, and how long you want it to last. On that workout page, we have included a spot for you to track your nutrition. You know why it's important to track your nutrition is because if you are performing, if you get a PR and you look back the last 3 days and you see that your nutrition was excellent on all 3 of those days, well then I bet that played a part in that PR. And you know, if you want to get another PR, you better replicate that process of really good nutrition. If you haven't gotten a PR for a long time and you look back and you say, oh man, my nutrition, I've been recording this and it's been awful, it's been off for the past 3 weeks, of course you haven't gotten a PR. Your body is not optimized with its energy systems to get that PR. Also, we have sleep. Sleep is really important. You know, you actually build muscle when you're sleeping. So if you're not getting enough sleep, your body doesn't have enough energy or does not have the time to process those body changes that you're trying to apply to it. We have goal work. Check off what goal work, write what your goal work was. We have room for mobility. If you are feeling like your knees are tight or your quads are tight or your back is tight, what mobility issues you have, you can use this slot here to check off that you worked on those. And then we have the meat and butter. That's the lift section where you can write down your reps and your load for each lift or each set that you do. And your Metcon section where you can record that Metcon conditioning that has you laying down on the ground and hurting. At the bottom of the Metcon section, we have an RX or PR. So if you did that without scaling, check off that RX. And if you got a PR in that conditioning movement and that conditioning workout, check off that PR. At the back of this journal is, I would say, the most important part of the journal, and that is your PR section. Now, we do have some benchmark movements in here where you can track your workouts over and over again, and these workouts that have been defined in the CrossFit community. But this PR section, whether it be your conditioning PRs, like a 400-meter run or your 500-meter row, or your weightlifting PRs, like the bench press and the back squat, or your body weight PRs, like muscle-ups and push-ups and pull-ups. These PRs are really how you define if you're getting fitter or not. You may be gaining or losing weight, but if your numbers are improving, you're becoming a more fit person. You're able to move weight more efficiently and more effectively, and you're able to really describe that you are more powerful, that you are a more fit person. And so this workout section in the back, this PR section in the back, is probably the most important part. The final tool that we've included in these indestructible journals of ours, and flexible journals, and you can't rip the covers, is the weightlifting charts. Now, these charts allow you to look at what your 1 rep max is, and then based on how many reps the workout is calling for, go down this chart and see what weight you should be starting with or working towards. That gives you an approximate guide for the weights that you should work towards. And that's pretty important because if you are starting with a 1 rep max of 365 back squat and the workout calls for you to do a 400-pound back squat as the starting weight, now I don't know who's doing that, but that as the finishing weight, let's call it finishing weight, then you want to find the right scale for you, figure out how many reps you can lift, and make sure that you're lifting the right amount of weight. And the best way to do that is with this chart. Makes it a lot faster than a calculator because all the information is right here. So that's kind of how our WOD beginner journal looks. I encourage you to check it out, and if you have any questions about it, we'd be happy to address them for you in by email or through Facebook, or if you search through the website, you can probably find the answer there. Anyway, I'm Evan, founder of Journal Menu, and I'm so glad you made it out here today to check out our journals. Hope that you find the one that you want, and if not, please send us a note. We'll probably make it for you. Thanks again. Have a great day.